okay, if you want to be Marxist, that's fine. So we'll listen to you about the problems that black people in America are facing. But when it comes to reforming our country, we're not going to listen to you. You may be smart in so many other ways, but you can be stupid in a lot of things. I don't know anything about engineering, so I'm not going to be talking about it. You clearly don't know much about politics, so you should shut up. People walking around with like, oh, I got my mask on, like, fucking get out of here. What are we doing? Just look at the numbers. It's fine. I'm probably a pompous asshole. I could get us all killed, but you know what? Let's take a go. I like to gamble. Oh, we can't talk about China, right? Shh. Okay, no China talk. Also, legalize the drugs so they have no power over us. There's a couple ways to go about that. If Jesus can be a carpenter, so can I. Tons of psychedelics. Things of that nature where it's, people going to jail for a fucking mushroom or a plant. You out your damn mind. You're not a rational human being if you're willing to cage another human being up for that. When I was a kid, I would never see anything from anybody else's point of view. But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, I should really do that as much as I can. It's the best way to go through life, And nobody's willing to do that. If you're offended, then fuck off. Go listen. There's tons of PG comics. Go see a PG comic. I say super offensive stuff. I love it. It's fun. I enjoy it.
And that was Josh Miller. Welcome to the LifeXpanded podcast, guys, with myself, Darren James. Great to have you here for this conversation. Episode 4 today. Yeah. Chatting to Josh. He's a stand-up comedian in the States, in California. We had such an epic conversation. It was hilarious. I was in stitches for about half of that conversation. It was deep. It was insightful. It was offensive. I think it was everything that you're looking for in a good conversation. We chatted about a whole range of topics from politics to COVID-19, Black Lives Matter, media, censorship, psychedelics, facing your fears, getting up on stage, starting a podcast, and a whole bunch of cool stuff. We even chatted about Tiger King. I don't know if you guys have seen that show, but if you haven't, please do yourself a favor, watch it. Be prepared to be shocked. Be prepared to be in hysterical laughter. It's chaotic. We chatted about that. We chatted about a whole bunch of other things. It was such a cool conversation. Let me know what your thoughts are on it, and let's delve straight into it.
We are rolling my side. I had to turn that metronome off. That is silly. Oh my goodness.
What is the point of that metronome?
It's for when you're playing music. Like, I don't know if it takes it out later, though. I don't get it. Maybe it's just for practicing. I don't want nothing to do with it, though. It drives me nuts.
That was literally the first thing that I Googled. I was like, how do I get rid of that random TikTok noise in garage?
What is this shit?
Anyway, Josh Miller, finally, brother. Finally, we're getting to do this.
I know. I'm so stoked. It's been too long. You said I could be the first, and then I ran into every single problem I could for a computer. I actually lost like 3 episodes of my own podcast.
Yeah, you were going to break my podcast virginity, but then technical issues.
I didn't want you to get too attached to me, and you couldn't do it every week. I didn't want you to have to go through that.
Well played, man. Well played. But sick, man. This is really cool. Bro, first of all, what is going on in America?
The beginnings of a revolution. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm down for it. I just don't have a gun yet, so I'm working on my knife skills.
Good idea. At least you guys have got a bit more chill gun control laws there.
California, though, I mean, there's a lot of like how much you could have in a clip, what guns you can have. And then they're just crazy, They're trying to take away all your guns completely. I think it's government has power. They don't want to give it up. They want more. They only want more.
Seems like it, eh? It's the whole gun control issue is a whole topic in and of itself. But what are your views on it?
I think everybody should be able to have a gun.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't stop bad guys from getting a gun. They don't follow laws, so what are they going to follow a law and not having a gun? They'll take a 20-year sentence eventually, whatever. They're taking that gamble. So why do we have to hurt ourselves? Why are we starting ourselves off farther behind than the bad guys?
100%.
It was, you're not going to get your house broken into. I want that safety. I got a daughter. I got a wife. You got to keep them safe. And I don't have a gun because I don't properly, like, I don't think I was ready to have a gun in my 20s. I like guns. I wanted a gun. But I was like, I'm a little probably irresponsible. I'll probably get drunk and play with it. Like, bring it out at a party. Look at it. Let's fucking 4th of July, New Year's. I'm shooting it up into the air. There's no doubt about it. So I knew myself, like, all right, don't get a gun. But now I'm 32. I thought a lot about stuff. I realize there's more consequences in life.
Yeah.
And I don't drink as much either, too. So that helps out. So I think I got to get some safety classes and proper handling of everything, take some training, and then I want to do it. Like, I'm going to make it fun and do it with my friends. Like, make it a thing.
Yeah, sick. I agree. I think that's the whole gun thing is something I haven't really thought much about until this lockdown thing, and then I looked into it, and it's like you say, everybody should have the right to defend themselves. First of all, we have the opposite in South Africa. It seems like you guys are a bit more liberal than the rest of the world in terms of being able to get a gun. In some of the states, it seems quite easy. Whereas in South Africa, the process is unbelievably hard to get a gun. So, but as you say, criminals will get a gun regardless if they want to commit crime. So they're going to be armed. But the citizens who want to get a gun can't get a gun because the process is a fucking nightmare.
It's not as easy as I think people think it is. You do have to go through a background check, which it comes back so fast to some people. It seems like it didn't happen, but it's technology. Like, we're moving on. It is quick.
Yes.
I think the problem lies with guns is the people using them, and it's mostly when people have medication in their system, some kind of like antidepressant or whatever their term is.
Yeah.
And that's when usually things go bad, it seems. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a guy trying to be a stand-up. But from what I hear, like, that's what kind of it sounds like. I just want to tell a dick joke, but I understand that it's not normal people going around killing people.
For sure. I was actually chatting to another guy about this issue in South Africa because we've got an issue with farm murders and people are getting killed in their farms. Yeah, and one of the things he raised was we need better, easier kind of background checks, quicker processes so that people can arm themselves and get guns and people can actually protect themselves so that we don't have all this crazy shit. But you mentioned stand-up. You into the whole stand comedy thing, eh?
Yeah. But going back on that point real quick, because I remember about a year and a half ago, I was talking to Keegan, and he was saying that the farmers were getting killed and all that, and they can't get guns. And I was like,
crazy.
Are you guys in like ancient times over there? I feel like South Africa's so far behind on something. I tried to send a T-shirt to one of my friends in South Africa. It got lost. We both called UPS, all that. Nobody knows where the fuck it went. There's a dude walking around with a bright yellow neon yellow shirt that has a video game cartridge on it that says, "You blow on it, I'll stick it in." Walking around South Africa right now. Like, that son of a bitch took my shit.
TIA, this is Africa, so it's just an expression. I don't know. Have you been to Africa before?
No, I haven't. I've had a friend go there for like missionary stuff and all that, and he said it was great. Like, you don't think that it is what it is, but it is, and he enjoyed it a lot.
Okay.
But I'm cool.
Yeah.
There's so many places I don't need to see for so many reasons. Like, first of all, you lost me on how long's the flight. I'm not there. I'm done. No, I'm not about it. I'm going to take a 6-hour flight to our desert and somewhere, I don't know. There's a desert like an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
I'm not really big on geography, but I assume America is very diverse in its landscape, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
We go from ocean, desert, beautiful mountain ranges, back to plains, over to the East Coast.
Yes.
How is that so much in Africa? Is it like pretty deserty throughout with some spots of really nice vegetation area? Or I really don't know. I know a lot of plains. I've seen those documentaries. Fantastic, and I love the lions.
Yeah, Africa's got the whole geographical kind of mixture. From the top Sahara, you got the desert, and you got the kind of mid-zone Africa, which is super tropical and like lush jungle kind of vibes. And then even in South Africa,
I guess that is the Amazon, isn't it?
Amazon's in where is that? Brazil, South America.
Oh, is that Brazil?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
See, I told you I'm really bad, like, so bad at stuff. I don't even know where Utah is.
You definitely didn't take geography in school, did you?
Oh, I took it. I just didn't pass it.
Nah.
That's why I don't want to travel outside of America. I'm scared of getting lost. I don't know how to get back home.
But that's the thing. You guys, America in itself, I think just to travel and get an understanding of the whole of America would take you years because it's such a diverse country. I've been to a couple of places in the States and I would love to go and travel through the whole kind of east, west coast. And I mean, you guys have got the whole range of everything there.
We really, I mean, just in California alone, you go Northern California, really lush, all the way down, and it just like, it's like a gradient fade down to desert down in San Diego, which if you're not in the beach, it's really deserty. It's dope, and you can have a beautiful time, but it's hot.
Yes. And where in California are you?
I'm in Orange County, North Orange County. Like, I'm from Long Beach though, but I just moved just out of Long Beach, like a golf ball's drive. So
I think all South Africans know about California is Los Angeles. I think that's the extent of our understanding of fucking.
Yeah, I mean, what else is there? Sacramento sucks.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend like I know exactly where the other places are, but you're on the West Coast, so good old California.
Yeah, while it's still here.
Yeah.
Before it goes to the ground. But moving on from my lack of knowledge in geography, jeez, before everybody just discredits me as a human being, like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about at all.
Where was I? Yeah, the chaos in the States, that's where I started. So, like, for us in South Africa, who basically, most of our media, we look at you guys. You guys are like the center of the world, I'm pretty sure you know that. So, like, from somebody who's actually there in the thick of it, what's going on with the Black Lives Matter movement, all the chaos, the protests, the crazy politics, and it seems like chaotic at the moment, man, from your perspective.
It is, but it's also, like, not that chaotic. There's people who are protesting peacefully. I don't know, I don't watch the media. I really stay away from all media. If news gets to me, I feel like that's the most unbiased because it's kind of like trickled from a couple different places of people talking, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of what's going on. I just can't watch the media anymore. I had to cut myself off because I was so bad, and it wasn't that I was left or right leaning. I was like devil's advocate. If you would say something, I just hated the fact that you were so entrenched in a side that I was just gonna fuck with. Like, I was trolling to a point, but like it started as a troll because I'm like, I'm just gonna fuck with this guy. I still troll people every now and then on some Facebook or something because it's fun.
Yeah.
I just use it as a writing exercise for comedy. And
Facebook trolling gets so far out of control. If you leave a comment, people just attack, and you get into like these wars, and you're like, again.
And getting blocked is like a new addiction. It's delicious. I love it.
Oh, really?
I did get blocked. I was like, oh, that felt really good. Like, you hate me so much you can't even can't even look at you anymore and your feed.
I feel you, man. We've been in lockdown probably like 3 months now, and like for the first month I was like heavy in the media, like what the fuck's going on in the world? But eventually that shit really gets to you. So I've also tried to take a step back and try somewhat filter the information I get, because you can also get sucked into it, man. And the media does a great job of just like fucking driving the chaos.
Yeah, no, I don't get really stressed out from things, but that was like, it does. It makes you so angry that people are so unopen-minded. You're closed-minded, like it's sad, really, because the biggest thing I work on is like trying, because when I was a kid, I would never see anything from anybody else's point of view, but now that I'm an adult, I'm like, I should really do that as much as I can. It's the best way to go through life,
Yes.
And nobody's willing to do that.
Yeah, not many people are willing to change their perspective or their point of view on something. So that cognitive dissonance is real, man, and it's like...
It's why we need to bring back the word retarded.
Yeah.
Because there's mentally challenged people who are physically unable to do things, and we understand that, and we take care of you, and we have a special class for you, and we love you. And then there's people who can function on a different level with us, but they are just fucking retarded. And it's so frustrating because you're like, no, 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 no. How are you this dumb? I don't get this. We need to work on this for you. And that's coming from a slightly stupid person. Like, come on.
Yeah.
If I'm telling you this, you should really listen.
Well, I saw something today. It just like proves your point, like beyond belief. It was on Facebook again. Like you always see this kind of shit on Facebook. And what was it? It was like somebody made a comment on something. It was like a post about communism and shit. I don't know. She's like, communism is not the problem. Communism is a great system. And then she tried to list her reasons for it, and I was like, she honestly believes that. And
ooh, yeah, you can't that's the problem is you're looking at a lot of facts and just saying, they're not doing it right, or they're not correct. They're not correct. Like the countries that are doing communism lie to us all the time about how well they're doing, and we could still tell how bad you're doing, like through all your lives. Like, no, you're terrible. So you want to smack their hand and just no, knock it off. You've tried this and enough is enough. We're not doing it anymore.
Every time you try it with a new improved version, it doesn't fucking work.
No. And that's the thing. It's like you do need a new version of something, but it's not something that's already been done. And
you don't need Chaz.
Yeah, and okay, you're trying Chaz, whatever. Fucking that ended today, but America was version 1.0, and I don't think you should take away stuff like, oh, we got to take away the Second Amendment, blah, blah, blah. You can't do that. But we could definitely reform stuff and make it better. There's no reason we can't do that. It is the version. We're young. We're 200 or some years old. Like, let's move it in a better direction. And this is finally enough people are getting together, hopefully, and we can do that. Because like you said, it is that's how the world looks at. The world looks to America for a lot of things, and that's one of the things. If we could improve that, think of all the places that could become better. Significantly better, just from saying like, shit, look, even America thought they had it good and they revolted on some level and made things better. Like, we're taking it shitty. Like, let's do that. What do we have to lose? Because you only do have one life, so you might as well fucking live the best one. Yeah,
and like you say, that's why America is America. It's there's a reason for that. So it's like you guys are on the right path. Obviously it's not fucking perfect, but yeah, it's we do look to you as somewhat of an example. Even though you have people, yeah.
A bad example sometimes a good example, Nobody. Superman takes a nap too.
Yeah, exactly.
We all fuck up.
But quickly going back to that Chaz thing, what is that, man? These people trying to create their own little city within a city, and they're like, fuck everybody else, get out of here. We creating our own rules now. What?
Yeah, I think people got sick of stuff and they wanted to see how far they could take it and see what happened. And then they started making demands like it's a hostage situation. And I think Seattle Police Department was just like, all right, enough's enough. There was a killing yesterday. A teenager.
Really?
In Chaz. There might have been one prior to that. I'm not 100% on. But I mean, after that, it's like, all right, so you guys are gonna take over this area and then have a shooting. Like, we're not gonna do that. If it was all peaceful, I think they were gonna let it go on, which I don't see any reason why they shouldn't do that. But the second, someone dies from another person's hands, you can't have that. You have to have some kind of law and order.
So did they come in and basically remove Chaz?
Yeah, I think they came in early in the morning. And it was a line of cops. They probably surrounded the whole area as much as they could. They had a couple helicopters, I believe, at least one. And they stormed the place. They arrested maybe like 30 people for not dispersing. And they just took the area back over. So, yeah, some white lady was like, threw her hand up in the air and said, "These streets are ours." And I was like, not for fucking very long, sweetheart. It's gonna hurt. Like, you guys lost. Nice try, but fucking vote for your local elections. You're gonna do more good that way by voting for your local elections. I don't know what to tell you.
For sure. And what happened with the Defund the Police movement? Did that gain any traction, or was that just like another...
I mean, I think they're still trying to go with that in some places. And if you listen to a ton of other podcasts, you can't defund the police. You're just going to put it in with something else, and it's going to happen the same way, or it's going to be a hell of a transition period where a lot of mayhem's going to go on. You have to spend more money on making them better. Like, you have to spend money on making things better. It's not taking it down and starting again with the same amount of money. Clearly, like, refund things and move around. Get rid of people you need to.
Yeah, exactly. People look at the surface level problem and they try to solve the problem on that level, but you got to solve the underlying problems. And
everything they want for a reform, if you think about it, like longer to get in and all that, how long is this going to take? A couple years to even get this going, to get these people, to find people, evaluate them, train them, make sure their training's sufficient, and then get them out on the streets. And then you have to train on the streets, because that's the whole, like, once you're on the streets, that's a whole nother, probably year of adjusting, if you do adjust.
And I saw another thing which was really interesting, and it was the more that people demonize the police and put this whole stigma around them, not good people aren't going to want to become policemen anymore. So who ultimately are going to be your policemen if nobody wants to do that job? Because of the way that everybody's carried on and everybody's putting the whole police into one category, and it's going to create bigger problems further down the line if they carry on.
We're going to end up with robots, bro. I'm telling you. This is how you get robots policing you. Nobody wants to do it. All right, Boston Dynamics just came out with this thing that's going to do the job for free. So now
it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, now we're done for. My wife's got dual citizenship for Germany, so.
Oh, really?
If it gets too bad, I could always, skedaddle.
My girlfriend's got a French passport. I got to drop the knee.
There you go. Worst comes to worst, I mean, they'll try and take over the world again, so, we'll be good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy times.
2020 is just going to be used as like, oh, man, that party was great until the cops came and it got real 2020.
Yeah. And quickly, before we move on, Corona. Is Corona kind of coming past in America, or is places opened up now? You guys still under lockdown?
I haven't been on a lockdown really one day because I got a job as a delivery driver for medical marijuana, and it's an essential job out here. So yeah, it was, at the beginning was wonderful. Just wide open Southern California highways. I was loving life. I was doing just 80 cruising all around, not a problem. It's still going on. Yeah, it's still going on. A lot of places want you to wear masks and all that. I kind of just do my thing and don't wear a mask because it's really just about immunity. Look at the numbers. It's fine. I'm probably a pompous asshole. I could get us all killed, but you know what? Let's take a go. I like to gamble. I see people walking around with like, oh, I got my mask on. Like, what are we doing?
Well, we got people in South Africa. They got shields, like they wear these shields in front of their face, but a mask as well. So a shield and a mask.
They drive cars like that here. Some of them.
Yeah, alone. That's the worst.
Alone. Oh God, dude, I love it. If I had a truck still, I would ram them off the roads. Lucky for them, I have a Prius.
So you're rocking the fuel efficiency there.
Oh,
yeah,
killing it. I like ancient dinosaurs. I keep them preserved.
Nice. Sweet. So you deliver medical marijuana. That's pretty sick.
It's fun, man.
I had a conversation with a guy, and he grows cannabis, and he educated me so much on it, man. I realized I knew absolutely nothing about it. It's a phenomenal plant.
Everybody wants to say, oh, it helps me do this, it helps me do that. Like, weed helps me to do, like, one thing, but I love fucking smoking it because it does others. Like, it gives you a nice buzz. So, but to some people, like, I have some, I would even call them patients because they have, like, their medical license and they're taking stuff, like, and it's not even to get high, it's just to live. Like, they actually need it. And it's crazy that it's been so long that it hasn't been legal. Like, there's so many benefits to CBD, THC, that we can't deny that. And, like, if you can have alcohol, I'm a bartender, man, and I know how bad alcohol is. Like, it probably shouldn't be legal, the amount of deaths it causes, alcoholism, getting drunk and doing something stupid, DUI crashes, like how can you not have a harmless fucking plant illegal? And like South
Yeah.
Africa, isn't it like super offensive?
Yeah, it's. I think that topic's come up so much. I don't understand how it's still even like an issue. I don't understand why a plant is still illegal in South Africa. They kind of starting to relax the laws. In South Africa, you can grow it and smoke it in your own house, but you can't sell it or distribute it. So only if you grow it yourself, you can smoke it yourself. But obviously, you can get. But it's crazy. Like you say, alcohol. The impact of alcohol, it's insane. They've banned cigarettes in South Africa at the moment. Our government's so enlightened; they're making the most incredible decisions. So we had alcohol and cigarettes banned. Now we got alcohol can be sold from Mondays to Thursdays. You can get alcohol. You still can't get cigarettes. People are losing their minds here. But we just got these dictators running the show here. And
did they at least give you like a heads up of, hey, Tuesday we're gonna stop selling cigarettes indefinitely? Because then it's like, well, gonna go get 10 cake cartons. And then
do you know what they fucking did? Yeah, okay. So I'm actually like, I don't smoke anymore. I used to smoke, but I sympathize for the smokers, man. So they came on TV, or our president came on 3 days before, and he was like, in 3 days we're going into a 3-week lockdown. Okay, so they locked down for 3 weeks. So everybody stocked up on their booze and cigarettes for 3 weeks. So then, like halfway through that, he was like, no, we're extending it by another 2 weeks. By the end of that, it was like, oh, now we got levels. So now they got like 5 levels to the lockdown. So, like, they were supposed to unban the shit, but it's still banned. Smokers are still smoking, but it's costing them 10 times the amount because the government is benefiting from the illegal tobacco trade. So no wonder they're trying to keep it banned. And it's just...
Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah, this is what we deal with.
You guys have a dirty thing with coal, too. Isn't it like China takes your guys' coal? And you guys have to do those intermittent blackouts and shit?
Yeah, we do load shedding, so we like have power like intermittently, but that's mainly because I don't know, the government...
Oh, we can't talk about China, right? Shh. Okay, no China.
Yeah, well, it's actually wild. Our president like praises China, and he mocks Donald Trump,
scary.
And I'm like, fuck, that's the wrong way around. Like, he's like trying to...
Donald Trump is really mockable. I get that. You definitely should mock Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I like nor love the guy, or hate nor love the guy. I just...
Yeah.
Presidents are silly.
I was pretty neutral on Trump, but until this lockdown, I must say, like, I see what the guy's doing. The guys give him a lot of shit, but he does say some stupid shit.
Yeah, but I do believe 100% this Corona thing is a democratic ploy of some bullshit. Like, there's no way. The numbers don't add up. People die from diseases all the time. I think it's like maybe 800,000 deaths to 10 million cases or something like that. I forget the stats, but it sounds like a going disease of kind of proportions. We can't destroy an entire economy. How many businesses went out of business for good? Like, dude, there's a whole chain of buffets that are actually healthy. It's like soup and salad and all that. It's great. It's always packed, family friendly, a wonderful place. They're gone for good because they decided that coronavirus is super unhealthy, which a lot of things are unhealthy, but our immunity is also there for a reason. Yeah. So we can't just destroy everything for that.
Exactly. At some point, the fear of death can't outweigh that fear of living. You can't fucking... Yeah, the numbers aren't painting this horrendous picture that the media seems to be like, fear-mongering people into, and it's just like, fuck. I know so many people, small businesses especially, that are coming crumbling now, and it's the middle class that are suffering. It's atrocious, man.
Yeah, no, I do have some friends that are making decent money right now on unemployment because they were bartenders and they, get their unemployment plus stimulus plus whatever. But it's all ending, and then where's all that money coming from? We just printed it up like, oh yeah, okay, that's not gonna affect us whatsoever. There's no ramifications of that. I know nothing about economy except for that's bad.
Me as well. Like, I'm not an expert on this shit, but at least you're in America. We are in Africa. We are already fucked. Our government took out like 500 billion. And that money just seems to be going back into their pockets as it always does. So it's like we're getting
Oh
ourselves
yeah, I
in
mean
more
the same
debt.
thing happened
and
here.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, because they know they're not going to defeat debt, so they might as well benefit from it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, you can't be the hero of saving the day. Well, I'll get my pockets lined. And then
Yeah, it's the same.
we need to
same
figure
thing
out,
over and
like,
over.
we need to be ruled by AI. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
It's better than dirty
Did,
people.
did you see that Joe Rogan podcast where Elon Musk was talking about the implant thing, like in the side of your head?
Cool with it. I think
Fuck,
if you want to be into
really?
politics, okay, if you want to be in politics, you have to implant that so we can read your thoughts. If you're going to be in charge at that level, what are you hiding? Like, okay, tell us all your thoughts then, because you're in charge now. So fuck it. Nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to be in that job.
Look, I wouldn't want to be chipped with that shit. But like you say, the people in charge of our shit need to be chipped so that we can see what the fuck's going on in their minds.
Exactly. At
And what-
least to the basis of a third, I would have to say like a third party company coming in and implanting a truth or false chip. Just like it's a red light on their forehead, right on the side, that if they're lying when they say a statement, it's red, truth, green. And then a fourth party comes in and makes sure they're calibrating it correctly. And then a fifth party comes in and makes sure everything's good. Just so if Russia wants to tamper with shit, they got to go through a couple fucking ways.
I like
That's it.
man.
There's Elon Musk can figure something out. There has to be something.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of change, especially in politics, that somehow improves the fucking system because it's
You can't rely on a man's handshake anymore and an eye, look in the eye. Get out of here.
Yeah, we can't go back to communism, but this current system isn't quite ideal just yet, so we need to refine that.
Yeah, man, they started it and it's like, oh what? You didn't fucking figure it out a little bit better? You just had terrible people in charge eventually. Just
Yeah.
dirty people have fucked up things and now we have to make it better. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
and the political side of things in the States, do you think this... It seems to be a lot of evidence pointing to the fact that this BLM movement is quite a political thing just before the election, like it was 4 years ago before the election. Do you think there's agenda behind that whole thing to push for the Democrats?
Probably. I mean, there's probably always some political movement in something. I think that if you do have enough people coming together for the Black Lives Movement and saying, hey, there's a problem. So we now need to listen. As far as reforming the country in a communist way, I don't think that's going to solve anything. So why would we talk about that? Like, that's not like, that has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. That's just using that for, underlining your reasons. But we do need to take a look at a lot of things in this country and say, oh, yeah, there is problems. Like I said, I'm not smart. I couldn't list them off for you, but I see that all these people that I know, being from Long Beach, working in restaurants, so with such a diverse amount of people, and then I see these people on Facebook make these poignant statements. I'm like, well, clearly, like, there's stuff that needs to happen. You can't deny it. You just can't reform it to one person's or one movement's whim. And I've heard that, the leaders are Marxist. They've even come out and said, the two ladies or whatever, they're Marxist. And like, okay, if you want to be Marxist, that's fine. So we'll listen to you about the problems that black people in America are facing. But when it comes to reforming our country, we're not going to listen to you because Marxist is silly. And for the fact of you going into that, I think you're slightly dumb. You may be smart in so many other ways, but you can be stupid in a lot of things. I don't know anything about engineering, so I'm not going to be talking about it. You clearly don't know much about politics, so you should shut up.
Yeah, and it seems, like you say, there definitely is issues in society, but sometimes the solution that is put forward, it just doesn't make any sense. If you got to have a rational solution, and a lot of people don't understand history, and there's more.
And that shouldn't take away from anything they're saying about the problems black people are facing in America. Like, that should be taken very seriously. Once again, get the fuck out of here with your politics on Marxism.
Yes, exactly. There should be better ways to solve the problem than defund the police or try and blanket a solution. Or it just doesn't make any sense sometimes. You're like, who's coming up with these ideas? It's crazy.
And I think we should really come up with a great way for the police to behave and be structured and all that, because if it's this bad here, there's got to be places in this world where it's really fucking bad, and now we have to, like you said, put that standard up, and this is what should be going on. Like, people want this open borders, one world thing. Like, we have to, if we want to get to that, you have to make this place a shining example so you can create other things like this, and then you can open up. Like, you have to be kind of one thing. You can't be more of a conventional law throughout. Have cultures and all that, but we still follow the same laws. So we have to start with a really good one here.
Exactly, yeah, because there's places in the world where atrocious crimes against humanity are going on a daily basis, but nobody bats an eye, and it's like,
oh,
yeah,
gross.
Yeah,
like the fact that like North Korea, like the fact that North Korea's a thing. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
What do you think about the one world kind of no borders thing going forward? Is that the thing that you think that they're trying to push, or is it a viable option in your opinion? Like,
I mean, let's just say it did happen. The chaos that would ensue probably in 6 to 8 months would stop it. I couldn't see like just people you can go wherever the fuck you want. Like, there's going to be tons of places that are overran with tourism that don't fucking want it, like, we can't control how many people are coming to the border. All right, no thank you. And then the other way, like, look how bad Mexico is with its cartel. Like, fuck no, I don't want an open border. I'm not saying we have to lock it down to be the strictest ever, like, build a wall. Oh, fuck it. Like, they're going to find a way. I don't give a fuck. But I don't want it an open border. I do like those people trying to stop things. Also, legalize the drugs so they have no power over us. There's a couple ways to go about that.
That's one thing I have to agree with you 100% on. It's just like, I can't believe we're still, criminalizing drugs, especially certain drugs, which are actually medicines in my opinion. But yeah, the fact that, what is it, like Portugal? They're quite liberal with their drug laws. You can kind of take whatever drugs you want, and they don't seem to have much problems.
I think there probably was an initial, if you do anything, you're going to get an initial flare of just ODs because people are partying hard. Oh, we can do whatever we want. I did 22 grams of cocaine and my heart exploded. But eventually people are it's just going to be like, I don't fucking care. Dude, I started delivering weed, like, I huge fucking stoner. I love smoking weed. But now I deliver it and I'm like, I have it on me half the week. I got supplies, and it's just like, whatever. I don't fucking care. It's weed.
Exactly.
So, and that mentality will go with anything. I really believe that human beings are told not to do something, they're gonna fucking do it. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I do it all the time.
Yeah, 100%. We in the same, like with the lockdowns. Like, you can't go to the beach, you can't go surf, you can't do this. Like, fuck that. I want to go do that now. It's like, you want to do what you're not allowed to do.
I'm really inexperienced with mushrooms, but I got some not too long ago, and I like how Oakland opened up its policy on that. And I think it's great because I've only microdosed. I've taken maybe, like a stem and a cap or something, like not a lot but it's not enough to make me like trip, do anything. But when I do find myself angry, like, I find it just like, I know how to wash it away and like, okay, just, why are you angry? You're dumb. Like, I understand things better. It's weird. Like, there's definitely a benefit from it, or people wouldn't do it. Like, if Advil didn't take away pain, nobody would be taking Advil. Nobody likes a placebo effect. Only works so far. And
it's natural. That's the thing. It's like marijuana and that. So did I catch that right? So Oklahoma, is that a state that has
Oakland, California.
Oh, have they legalized mushrooms?
Yes, I believe. I don't know exactly, but it's psilocybin.
Psilocybin's the active ingredient in magic mushrooms. Yeah, and like you said, microdosing is phenomenal. It's because it doesn't get you, from what I've heard, it doesn't get you fucked up. But I mean, it's been used to treat people's depression and anxiety and all these things, which is a major thing. And if people can resort to plant medicine instead of these antidepressants, all these things which are doing sometimes more harm than any good, I think there's a good place in society if used the right way. I mean, it can help people. It really can.
Oh yeah, definitely. If we're willing to put people on these drugs where we know the side effects are awful, fucking awful,
Yeah.
up to death. Like there probably is worse side effects than death because there's people who probably have side effects that want to die, I bet, because they're that bad from certain drugs. But you can't be okay with giving a nation that and not being okay with trying to do anything you can naturally.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
all just old, like 60s and 70s law put into effect that people are just too stupid and old to get rid of. They're too stubborn. That's the problem with our government. They'll always put a new law up, but never take an old one down. Like, it's so hard to get anything changed like that. That's a huge problem. We should be, and I mean, not all laws, not all amendments, not so like, but like things of that nature where it's, people going to jail for a fucking mushroom or a plant. You out your damn mind. You're not a rational human being if you're willing to cage another human being up for that. If you want to make it illegal, fine, but go move to Antarctica where we don't fucking care about you anymore because you can't ruin other people's lives because some guy in the 60s was like, we gotta get against this. Fuck that.
Yeah, and at what point are you like, fuck? How can you take somebody's right away to take a fucking plant and eat it? It doesn't make any logical sense. It's like, so you're telling me I can't grow something and eat it? It comes from the earth. It's just like, you can get deep down that subject, but it's like, yeah, like you said, the 70s and that whole era where they had that whole war on drugs and they kind of criminalized all of this shit, and it seems to be an effect from that. But it seems like there is a lot of push for the studies on the effects of certain psychedelics, especially, and cannabis and all this stuff. So it looks like they are pushing it, and it is becoming more and more well known that these plants have benefits. So it's getting there slowly, I think.
Yeah, and that's great. At least it's happening now. It'd be great if they would take all this money that they put into the war on drugs and figure out a way to put it back into the community and make everything better. Like, you can figure out money for that just to pay some DEA agents how to bust people for weed. Get the fuck out of here. Are you working for us or against us? Because it doesn't feel that way. Like, you had the greatest of intentions back in the day. I understand that. And even if you didn't, fuck off double. But now it's fuck off. So we're done with this. We don't need this. As American people, you need to say, like, all right, and you vote. Obviously, that's how you do it. But fuck, dude, I don't even want to vote because to get to, like, Donald Trump and Biden are fucking, like, if I can't even vote for fuck, dude, I just want nothing to do with the process. I'm such a piece of shit, I know, but
yeah, man,
so like frustrating. I try not to talk about it.
Yeah, the war on drugs, the war on terror, all of that shit. It's just like fucking smoke and mirrors. And yeah, you guys have got Trump and Biden. What's the story with Biden? I see everybody mocking him. Is he a bit like retarded or what's happening?
I mean, he's a politician, so yes. Definitely a bit retarded.
Yeah.
But there is such a small handful of smart politicians.
Yeah.
He is really showing a cognitive decline, and if anybody says anything about it, they're pretty much cast down and shit on. Yeah, and it's if you think about it, it's the Democrats. Ooh, nice. I like the size of the cup there.
It's fucking massive, man.
Yeah. Don't grow up, it's a trap. I got coffee mugs for 3 Christmases and birthdays from everybody because I said, I like my coffee mug one time, and everybody was like, I'll get them coffee mugs. Don't say you like anything besides Porsches. Shit, where were we?
Damn straight.
And the left really does control. Yeah, the left really does control the media. You can't deny that. You have Fox News is the only big one, and they don't even really fucking like Trump anymore. So you got like OAN, which is a joke of a news network, and that's it. So they're saying anything you say against Biden, they're fucking hating.
Really? Yeah, I must say I love Tucker Carlson on Fox News. He's brilliant.
I like when anybody makes valid points and someone else is an asshole and doesn't accept them. And he's wrong. Everybody's wrong, but he does have a couple good ones and he shuts people up and I enjoy that. But then again, like, I had to stop watching any left or right political stuff because it's so fucking frustrating. If I listen to it, it's from like comedians usually. I just went to like all comedian based shit and then I like some world news. BBC's always, I feel, is pretty solid. Where do you guys get do you have a world news you guys go through?
Sure. I don't know. We have South African news. There's a couple of channels which is just, if you watch that, then you're just as brain dead as the people giving the news. But so you can't accept anything from there because it's super, super biased. And it's like your kind of CNN for the Democrats. They're only going to feed you what...
yeah, that's the silliest.
And then I've realized quite drastically during this lockdown how it works in your guys' side with the mainstream and CNN, like literally how they cover certain things, and then like you have the other side, but it's mainly the left and that their mainstream, how they're controlling the media, and it's crazy to see. So I've also tried to unplug it, but one channel I do watch, it's pretty cool, is Al Jazeera. I like that. Every now and then I'll check on them because they seem to have pretty good stuff. But otherwise, even BBC and that, I don't really... I've
heard Al Jazeera a lot. My mother-in-law's German, and she likes Al Jazeera a lot. So it's like, I think that's a good world one, but it just sounds like a terrorist organization. So I'm like, I don't know if I can trust it. But that's just my American brain working, you know? After 9/11, it's tough to hear those words, bro.
It does sound pretty fucking dodgy.
I mean, I know we did them dirty after 9/11, but come on. Did you have to do that, bro?
Bro, I don't even know where Al Jazeera comes from. I know it's a main news channel that seems to be pretty neutral on shit, and they call out shit, so it's like...
I'm all about that.
I actually try to get my sources more from like independent news and like podcasts and people interviewing people, and you seem to get a more of an understanding on a topic instead of like a 5-minute clip on the mainstream, and then you think you know about it but you don't. And so I try.
That's like trying to look at a picture through a pinhole, you know? You're only going to get this little view. You have to watch it from a couple different slanted views, unslanted views, whatever it is. You're going to hear everything, and then you have to make your own opinion. And then if you can read... like, there's really good journalists out there that still do things independently that just crush it, and you could find it. You just have to do it on your own now. It's not so simple as I turned on the news and I had Tom Brokaw tell me what's up, because he's reliable. He's not wrong.
That's exactly it. But that's, I think, the problem with 99% of people. They just turn on the TV, see what's up, and then it's like, dig a little bit deeper, man.
Dude, there's a reason the 24-hour news cycle works, is because people love it. Fucking love it. There's all their little captions. They're always got something going on. You've seen Anchorman 2?
Yeah, I haven't seen it recently, but I have seen it, yeah.
But the concept is like he invents the 24-hour news day, and it's so dead on because people are so fucking stupid and they just want content. They want to see all everything going on. If it's bad, it's better. Like,
yes.
Dude, that's what people are kind of wired for when we have this state of staleness. Especially now, people are tuned in more than ever. It's scary.
Yeah, and the clickbait shit's just like fucking...
They don't retract anything. They just do it for money. It's a scary time for trying to get your news.
It is. If you don't take a step back and actually be like, whoa, hang on, you will get lost in it.
I honestly, I just listen to what people are talking about on Facebook, and that's why I do it. Like, go on Facebook, because you can, like, hear how people are talking, and then you start to get a bigger picture of, like, okay, this person said that person said this, and you're not trying to flip through the news yourself.
Yeah. I must say, I got a love-hate relationship with Facebook. I don't know, sometimes I come out off of Facebook and I feel like a bit of an asshole after I've been on, and I'm just like, fuck, I've lost my zen. I go on like in a calm state, and then I'll just like, you know when you scroll and you're like, you're an idiot, fuck, you're an idiot, and then you like look at the comments on posts and you're like, Jesus Christ, and I can't do people do that.
No, I love that, actually. It makes me laugh a lot. I don't watch TV really anymore, and I quit video games. So this is my one toxic thing.
What made you quit video games?
The same thing with cigarettes. Every time I was doing it, I was like, this is a waste. Like,
Okay.
You could be starting your podcast, writing some
Yeah.
comedy, fucking
Yeah.
going for a jog, enjoying outdoors. As much as I was at the beginning, it was like I was hanging out with you guys in the morning, or not you per se, like Keegan and all those guys. I was playing video
Yeah.
games with them, so it was cool. I was hanging out with people, and then I got addicted. Like I was legit addicted to video games, like racing games. Oh my god, dude! I could spend all day on that shit. It's ridiculous. You feel like nowadays you feel like you're racing that car. So I had to step away. I just turned it off, and I really haven't gone back on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I listened to one of your podcasts in one of your first ones, and there was, I remember a point that you made, and it was quite interesting. I didn't think about it that way. I've kind of intermittently gamed now and then in my life, but never been full on into it. But I think I don't know if it was you or one of the guys you did the podcast with who was talking about.
If it was a good point, it was me.
It was a pretty good point. It was like you can sit and watch Netflix for like 3 hours, or you can game and like actually be stimulated to some degree where you like,
Yeah.
the comparison. I was like, shit, hang on, people are so easy to criticize gamers, but then I'll go sit and binge watch a series on Netflix for like 5 hours.
And it's cool to do. Oh, I'm a binge watcher. Oh, you're a lazy piece of shit. Yeah, all right, cool. Netflix and chill. Go on a real fucking date and then get a hand job in the car on the way home. Like you're supposed to, goddammit. It's not supposed to be so comfortable to get the hand job. Never.
Brilliant, man. Yeah, it's like, exactly. It's like we don't demonize that, but you want to play games for 30 fucking minutes. You fucking lazy piece of shit.
Yeah, and you're usually playing with someone, or you're playing this huge theatrical video game that's better than any movie you're going to be in or watch because you get to narrate it. When you see Lord of the Rings, what do you say? God, dude, I wish I could do that. It looks so much fun. I want to control it. Well, now you fucking can. And it's better that you can spend 9 hours watching all that or 12, 16 hours on a video game, especially during quarantine. Like video games are the best thing fucking ever. You're going to get the most bang for your buck.
100%. It's something. The one game that will always get me if I have it is Grand Theft Auto. Fuck.
Oh yeah.
I could get lost in that for hours because you can control the world. Like you said, if you want to play Lord of the Rings, you can be that. You can get stuck into that game and you can like.
Then you start hacking it too. You start hacking at this point now, and you do. I watch I'll be flipping through social media, and gamers will have their clips up, and it's like a huge chicken running around or something or a famous character, Spider-Man or a superhero, something like that, in Grand Theft Auto. So they're playing as it's the best now, and I played for 2 days for Grand Theft Auto. I was like, no, don't do this. You have a wife and kid. They will leave you. They will both leave you. My daughter will say, we're leaving, Dad. And I'll, damn it.
So I've never taken it to that level where you can, now apparently you can play against people on Grand Theft Auto, online.
It's too much. It's too much.
It must be mind-blowing.
First time I played it, I spawned, and then a car just nailed me and I died. I was like, the fuck is this shit?
Fuck, I can see how addictive that must become. I would become a single man if I had to get a PS and get the new GT. I would,
that's
fucking disaster. But
I think a bitter woman made that game. Some guy left her, and she's like, "That's it. I'm gonna take all the men, everybody," and then she made that game, and that's what happened.
Yeah, that's crazy. But interesting, man. So you've taken a step back from the gaming, but I can see how it can become a pretty addictive thing.
Oh, the video games are so good now. The racing games actually scan the racetracks. So when you're driving, it's it bumps the real way, and there's Long Beach Grand Prix. So I'll race that track, and I've literally driven those streets 1,000 times. For years.
What do you mean? In the car on the screen, it'll hit the same bumps and hit the same.
Yeah, if they took these cars and they laser scanned the roads, that's how detailed these video games get now. So if you're driving and it gets bumpy, it's because that's the bumps on the road. So it's I'm driving, and I used to have a Baja Bug, and they would be erecting the Grand Prix. So they're putting up all the borders and the gates and everything. So it's a race. And you get to still drive those streets. So I'd be in my bug. It doesn't go fast at all, but I think I was the coolest guy ever. Brrr, just driving down. So now that I get to play it on a video game too in a fast car, and it's the perfect same streets, of course I'm going to spend 6 hours on this video game. You're crazy to think otherwise. It's the insane detail they go to capture you too, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So it's like a catch-22.
the trajectory of gaming just seems pretty crazy. And you watch those movies. What was that movie with the virtual reality where you literally step into that?
Ready Player One.
Yes. Do you think that will
So
become a
good.
reality one day? Like something like that? Just be able to tap into that kind of a virtual reality. I mean, it's at some point it's going to become. It has to become a. I don't know.
Maybe not on that level. I mean, I hope not, because that's the whole world kind of going into. I think that might be step one of idiocracy.
Yeah.
But as far as like having something on that level, there's no way you don't. The way things are escalating.
Yeah.
And they're doing it quick. Like, it's crazy what a computer can do now.
It is pretty crazy, man. Fuck. It's insane, bro. I want to quickly, before I forget, touch on your stand-up comedy. So, you like, where does that fit into your life? So you do stand-up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I kind of always wanted to, but I was like, I don't even know how you do that. I don't like to write. I tried. I think 2 times in my 20s, I sat down and tried to write jokes, and I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yes. Where do you start?
I started, like, I guess I didn't really read a book or anything on it. I just always listened to stand-up, and then I kind of just had a premise, like, and kind of ran with it and just started typing it and retyping it and kind of figuring out, like, how to make it funny, and it really isn't that funny. But then I just went from there, and then, like, you start, oh, wait, that's kind of, that could maybe be a bit, or that could be a bit. And then you start pulling stuff, and you just keep writing, and I probably wrote for 4 months before I went up on stage for the first time. Like, because I was just fucking scared shitless. But as long as I was writing, I was getting my way to that goal. So, like, every night I would write 20, 30 minutes, if not longer. I mean, it's a lot of sitting there like, oh, what to write, but
Did you sit and be like, okay, this is my goal. I want to get up on stage, so I'm going to start writing down, like, kind of thinking of the day and events that you could kind of pull out and make jokes? Or, like, what is the process behind them? I'm trying to just, like, understand.
It was, I'm going to write these jokes. I'm going to kind of, like, work on a set of 5 minutes. And then when I get there, I'm going to get drunk and read it off my phone. Like, literally, the only fucking thing I cared about was getting up on stage. Like, I put my 2 feet on that stage and I talked into a microphone. I didn't give a fuck what ended up, like, how it ended up that night. As long as I did that, I could then make that next step. And I did the same thing with the podcast. Like, I was like, I got nothing to say. Like, I think this is all stupid. Nobody's going to want to listen to us, but who gives a fuck? Like, let's just start talking. And then once you're done with that first one, you're like, okay, I like this. This is really fun. And then back to the stand-up, it was, I went to that first night, and then you just basically realize, like, that's kind of what I don't know where it's going to take me, but I'm going to try it for the rest of my life. Like, and it's, you can do stand-up for the rest of your life, essentially. It's what's great about it. And then it was just writing all the time, as much as I could, and going up on stage as often as you can. And that's is tough because I'm got a 6-year-old and a wife who has her own business. And she's super busy. Like, she's in a huge developmental stage in her business, so I do have to. Luckily, everything's really late at night usually, so I can try and have dinner, put the kid to bed, help out with that, and then get out of the house. But yeah, it's a long.
It's been about a year now, or what, that you've done stand-up?
Yeah, I had to take fucking tons of time off, unfortunately. Like, it was a year's span of time with, like, 6 months of actually getting up and doing it, because like I had problems like wisdom teeth and stuff. So, and I didn't have health insurance. So I was like, well, they're growing in. I thought it would take like a week, and it ended up being like 2 months of just pure pain, like headaches. So that sucked. Like, it was just a setback. And then first of the year, I was like, all right, I'm gonna grind out on this as hard as I can. And I did. And I was just finally, because my biggest thing, like, yeah, I have jokes I could say. Whether they land or not depends on your stage presence. So I focused solely on my stage presence, like same repetitive jokes, but just like how I looked and did it, and the tags and the timing. And I started to feel comfortable. And I even did an announcer for this. It was me and this other guy. We did announcing for Super Smash Brothers. and there was a tournament held, so we did the announcement, all that. Like, I finally got a stride, and then right when that happened, COVID hit, and it's just like,
Fuck.
it's been 4 months now.
Yeah.
My stool just broke.
Oh. Fuck.
It's
Shit.
super old, and I lean on it all the time, and I was like, I probably should stop this, but I didn't, so that happened. We'll fix it. It's all good.
We got another one there.
Ah, good old. If Jesus can be a carpenter, so can I.
Amen. Fuck. Well, that's very cool. So tell me, does it get easier from when you started, the fear of getting on stage? And
Not yet.
Not
I'm
yet.
back to I'm scared all over again. Like,
yeah.
there's some open mics, I think, next week, and I'm just like, oh, like, I get a pit in my stomach all the time because thinking about it.
Like, what do they say that, I don't know how true this is, but do they say that the fear of public speaking is like the number one fear, like, and then second is death? It's like, people are more afraid to get on stage. And I mean,
when you die, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
It just sucks. Like,
And like,
there's ramifications for getting up on stage sometimes.
yeah, because if you hit a blank or you can't remember your shit or people just don't laugh, and it's like, it's going to happen. It's bound to happen. It's part of the process, I suppose.
Yeah,
But,
hopefully they're laughing.
yeah.
I'll take even laugh at me. Fuck it. Laugh at me. With me. Whatever.
But it's like stand-up comedy is like the ultimate shading to some degree of what people think of you. If you can pass that kind of prison that you live in, or like if you can really get up on stage and do that, it must be a pretty liberating thing to do sometimes.
Feels so good after. Like, I go from sick to my stomach to on stage, you don't really think about it too much, you're just in the moment, to after, the best feeling in the world. Until you start thinking about, oh shit, I gotta do that again. All right, I gotta do it again. Yeah, God, I'm nervous all over. No. I mean, even I think Seinfeld said, before I go on stage, sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I shouldn't be up there. What do I fucking do? Like, he gets nervous a little, and it's why people do it. It's like, do you think bungee jumpers stop feeling nervous before they bungee jump, or skydivers, you know?
Yeah.
You get that little tingle there. Of course they love it.
Sure.
And that's why they love it. You get that feeling.
Exactly. I can vouch for that. I mean, our skydivers, like, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? You're going up and you're fucking nervous. But afterwards on the ground, you're like, it's the best feeling in the world. And you're like, that's why I do it.
100%.
It's you know what entices me about stand-up? And like, I don't foresee myself ever being a stand-up comedian because it's not something I'm inherently interested in, but I'm interested in trying to push past the fear. And for me, public speaking is a fucking gigantic... Doing something like that, like, just thinking about it is like, shit. So I would want to do it to try and push past that fear. So that's why I'm kind of picking your brain on it, because it's interesting, man. The same with the podcast. Like you say, you start off, you're like, fuck it, why not? You're a bit, like, hesitant, and I've been hesitant and a bit nervous. But afterwards, it's like, fuck, man, that was so good. I had to have a sick conversation with that person about something, and it's quite cool to do things that you're initially quite kind of fearful of doing.
Yeah, and this one you don't get to die if you fuck up, unlike skydiving. So the benefits are way better. And, you know, like how often would I be able to sit here and talk to a guy from South Africa for an hour, like, oh, we're not recording this conversation. What are we going to talk about? Nobody fucking cares. Like, so you don't do that. But now that there's that power to record it, it's one of the most one of the best forms of entertainment in my mind, because you get to have a conversation in long form that you don't even have in person a lot of times.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of weird.
And long form conversation is definitely becoming more and more what mainstream, just so to speak. People are...
It has to.
Yeah.
And it has to. I think it's good for people like us. Like, who the fuck are we? We're nobodies. But
exactly.
Look at us sitting here having a conversation, and then we get to put it out there to the world. And, you know, my 4 listeners on That's Not What I Ordered podcast get to listen to what we hear. And maybe they say, oh, cool, I like that. Or, wow, that guy's a fucking idiot. And now, you know, it forms an opinion one way or the other. Like, it's getting people to think. So if everybody does that, I think everybody becomes a little smarter. as long as
That's
you
it.
don't listen to stupid things too much.
That's exactly it, yeah. And like that's actually why we wanted to do the podcast initially, because Keegan reached out to me. He's like, you got to chat to Josh, and then obviously we've been chatting ever since. But because you started your podcast, and it's been cool to see you start and do your thing, and it's like, hey, wait, what do you use? It's like Anchor. It's like, okay, cool. I got my podcast on Anchor now, and I'm like learning, and you're like busy like doing your thing, and it's cool to see, man. So it's
It's so much fun, and you get to experience it with someone else. So like I have another friend who Dave Grave. He does a conspiracy podcast called Zero Brain Podcast, which is great.
Okay.
It's just him going over crazy stuff, and we get to talk like, oh, I got 1,000 or not 1,000. Fucking wish 1,000 views. Not there yet. We got 100 views. We got 100
Yeah.
views, and he's like, oh, dude, he was super stoked for me, and it's fun because it's just another thing you get to have in connection with someone else,
Yeah.
and it's free. This is all free.
Exactly. It's all free, and it just takes a little bit of kind of figuring out, and it's like, fuck it, let's do it. It's pretty cool, man. It really, really is.
If you
so
think about it, if everybody just had to talk to random people over this kind of forum, like it was mandated by law, all right, we're going to put you on a random conversation, like it'll be monitored in the way of like nothing inappropriate, fucked up happens, but like you have talk to people that you don't know. You should
Exactly.
have to do that. It makes you realize that it's not a simulation, probably. So other people are out there. If I can learn to love them.
And if you can keep an open mind, you can actually learn. You can learn so much from other people. That's like one of the main reasons I want to do this, because like we think we kind of know everything, but then you chat to people, then like even if you take 10% of what they say, and you're like, hang on, that makes a bit more sense to me, and you kind of start to form better opinions on shit, and like you actually start to, hopefully educate other people by having conversations about certain things, and it's pretty
Exactly.
cool.
I'm actually starting a new podcast tonight. I was the
Okay.
first one. It's called I should sit down, and
Okay.
it's about talking. It's talking to open micers about doing stand up.
Oh really?
And so yeah, like what you got in, why you got into it, how you got into it, like your path. And I want to talk to people who've been in from like a year to 3-4 years maybe. To start out with, and just because that's where I am. I'm in a year, so like I want to be able to talk to other people. Mainly it's just to make myself like feel better, like about other open micers, like, oh, let's talk about how you sucked as much as I sucked. This feels great. And also just like I just want to talk to people, man.
Yes.
It's so nice to have a conversation with a friend or make a new friend, like, oh, hey, I saw your set, why don't you jump on the podcast, and I've never met you before, but turns out you like him. Might turn out he's a psychopath. Never know.
Exactly. Or
It's the gamble of life.
You see somebody interesting to say something interesting, and you're like, or they got a cool opinion or whatever, and you're like, hey, hang on, do you want to be on the podcast? And then you get to tap into a whole nother realm of whatever they have to say and learn from them. But that's pretty cool, man. So I might definitely listen to that, because like, this is very ambitious, but I would like to one day set a goal to be like, just get on stage and do it, just to push past that. So if I can listen to other guys who are fucked up and all the challenges that they've been through, I'll definitely give that a listen, man.
Good, yeah. Well, the thing too about doing stand-up is Corona. Once you go to an open mic, you see other people really suck, and some people do good, but like there's always new open micers, and it's rough. And you're like, all right, I feel much better about this. Let's give it a go.
Okay.
I'll try it.
Yes. All right. So I think
Do you guys have a lot
mic-
of stand-up there?
I'm busy thinking about that now. We have a comedy show, the comedy centers, but one or two of them where I live, but it's more mainline acts, and guys are pretty good. It's not like first time open mic stuff. So
Yeah.
there must be open mic places, but it's not.
Has to be.
It's not as big as I know you guys are in the States with your open mic and your comedy.
It's tough to be right now bigger than us in stand-up, but
yeah, you guys are
thing
killing
about
it
it-
stand-up wise.
oh yeah, the thing about it is it could be a good size open mic scene, but it's so underground almost, like to everybody else. But if you were to just do slight searching, and I figured out, like, you go on the right social media and you're like, holy shit, I could do an open mic every night, sometimes 2 a night, maybe 3.
Really?
If the times line up. Yeah, there's always an open mic going on now. Before Corona, people, and I kind of like this format. I would like to do it over where I live because there's not a lot of it, where people will rent out a small shop, because we have strip malls where you'll have this big long building that it's probably like 40 feet deep, and you get a 15-foot wide spot, and then you put a stage up and you have a little open mic stand up, and everybody, you pay people to go up there, but it's just to get a good spot that's actually, you feel like you're doing stand up. So it's pretty cool. They have a lot of cool stuff now about it. They're really, stand up's, once this gets back to normal, I think stand up's gonna have a huge boom again, because everybody's so fucking bummed.
Yeah, people are craving just to get together and have a laugh, man, and have a good time. Fuck.
I know I am. Like, I genuinely miss, as much as I love stand up and like telling the jokes and writing the jokes, the best part about it is you're around other people who are just as crazy as you are. Like, they all have a weird sense of humor. That's why you're trying it. It's fun. It's great. Like, I've already met people that I would love to have on the podcast. Like, I can't wait to have on the podcast. I'm super stoked on it, because they're so interesting and funny. Like, genuinely just funny people. Where I'm like, oh God, dude, I am not a funny person at all. I am just the epitome of dumb. But
you kind of like, you chat to somebody, or you meet new people, and then you have them on the podcast, and then from there you can potentially meet 10 more people, and it's just like, there's always people to chat to. And once you, I suppose, get involved in a circle like that, where you have open-minded people who are not your everyday kind of average people, you can meet some really interesting people.
Oh yeah, I meet some nerds, and I just like talk games with them and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I'll go over here, and it's like, oh, we're talking drugs, all right. And then back over there, people are talking some jokes, and it's fantastic. I love it. It's the best.
Very cool, man. I gotta come out to California and come join you on the mission.
Please do. Or wherever I move to. That's the thing. Like, I want to move out of California. My wife has her own. Oh, dude, my recording levels are so high. I hope I'm not like shouting into this mic.
No stress, man.
I guess you can hear me. Do I sound too loud?
No, you sound good.
No? Okay, then it's fine. I want to leave California, but I just don't know where the fuck I would go. Like, weed, fully legal here, super easy to get. It's with a text message, and it's delivered. The beaches are here. I can go bike ride any time of year. I got everything.
So you don't need to have a medicinal kind of thing to get weed. You can
21.
So you can just get whatever you want. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, okay. I get it, like, through this, while we were here on the podcast, I got a text message from one of the places, like, oh, here's our specials for the day. Like,
really?
He does all the time. It's hilarious. My dad's always so jealous. He's like, God damn, dude, if I had this back in the day, I wouldn't have had to done nearly as many drugs. Could never find weed.
Yeah, that's so true, man. Quickly, on the comedy thing, one more thing I wanted to ask you. Is the whole... I know a lot of comedians have been like, offending everybody. Everybody gets offended. Is that like an issue there, or people like don't give a fuck? Does it become the whole identity politics thing? Quite insane in the States. Seems like it.
Yeah, I mean, since Corona, it's all kind of chilled the fuck out.
Yeah. As
far as that goes, but at the same time, like, I think all that's bullshit. If you're gonna get offended, go read a book. Like, go read something that's not gonna offend you. But if you want to. If you want to kind of think outside the box and not deal with emotions as much, like how that makes you feel emotionally, and if you're too emotional to do that, then whatever. Like, I can detach emotions from funny. Like, I know that's super fucked up, and you would never want that to happen, but in a joke format, it's fucking hilarious. Let's be realistic. So you can't have those kind of people pushing their agenda on what they don't know. Like, if you're offended, then fuck off. Go listen to what's that guy who has the hot pocket joke. It's hilarious, but it's also not going to offend anybody, so go do that. Go listen. There's tons of PG comics. Go see a PG comic. I say super offensive stuff. I love it. It's fun. I enjoy it.
I don't know what's wrong with the world. Everybody getting offended about everything, but fuck it. Interesting times. Speaking of comedy, have you seen the Tiger King thing in the States?
That was first week it was out. Me and the lady got on that. God damn, dude. My favorite part about it is he was so famous in the US, like, and even around the world, like, trending around the world, and he's in jail not to enjoy a fuck, like, it's all there. It's all there. Like, everything is there for him, but he's just on the other side of the bars reaching for it. No.
Yeah, he's in jail at the moment. Hey, that's the last I heard. Yeah,
for a long fucking time. And then Carol Baskin, hopefully they catch that bitch ass.
Fuck, she definitely killed her fucking husband. 100%.
100%. I have sardine oil or something. I don't know.
And fed him to the fucking tigers. That's what she did.
Oh, dude, the person who scares me the most was her husband. Like, that's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Because he, like, did you see their wedding pictures, dressed up like a lion or whatever, and she put the collar on him? Like,
it's demented,
he's gonna
man.
He's gonna do the killing for her at that point.
It's so twisted that it's almost unbelievable. But it's so big that it made our news here in South Africa. Carol Baskin. I was reading through, like, we got News 24. I was like, all I saw was Carol Baskin. I was like, that bitch. And apparently they've opened up the investigation into her husband's death because they found out that his will was forged or something. So
yeah. That whole thing that people were talking about, it was nuts. Like, he wanted out or something like that, or he signed a thing saying, if I die or go missing, it's not because of, or I kill myself, or like I'm not going to kill myself. It's because of Carol Baskin. Like, she's fucking nuts. Essentially, like, all the paperwork was there. There's just no body because lions fucking ate a tasty snack that night. Get the fuck out of here. That's crazy.
I honestly, we watched that in South Africa after a couple of friends were like, you got to see the shit, and I was like, and I watched it, and it was. You don't know whether to be in complete shock or actually, like, you're hysterically laughing because it's so ludicrous. Both. And you know what the problem is? People in South Africa, or a lot of people around the world, they look at that and they're like, and they generalize Americans as that shit.
That's what scares the fuck out of me, man.
They're like, only in America will you see that kind of shit.
I kind of have a perspective of how other countries see us because I see how my mother-in-law sees us, and she's lived here for 26 years.
Oh, really?
She knows how people are, but she's still like, oh, silly Americans. Stupid. I'm like, I know, but it's not all of us, I swear. Like, I know I'm dumb, but not everybody is. I promise you.
Did you see how you tried to run for president? Joe Exotic.
I love that so much.
Like, you gotta admire the guy.
I would have voted for him to see him get assassinated.
Yeah.
Because there's no doubt he would have been assassinated.
You gotta admire the man's living his fucking best life. That's like what's happening.
Getting his dick sucked by dudes and tigers alike. I don't know, man.
Modern day slavery and I don't know.
Oh yeah, let not forget that. Like, and the one, what was it? It was the one who got their arm bitten off. Like, I didn't want to.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to go to the hospital or anything like, or crazy. I didn't want to get Joe in trouble to ruin the business, and I got rid of my arm because I didn't want to do surgeries. They said it'd be fine, but too much surgery. Get the fuck out of here. I'm saving that arm. Unless if it was cool robotic arms, I'm all about that. I'm cool with replacing into robotics. How do you feel about that? Like,
I don't know.
Being 80 and they're like, listen, your body's failing you, but we can upload your brain. Not even upload your brain. Take your brain. Like, your brain's fully functional. They have good brain health, but your body can't do anything. You going into a robot form?
The artificial, taking your consciousness into AI.
Let's say your entire brain. Like, they can take your entire brain, so it is you. It's not just your consciousness, because then that's too much of a debate. But actually your brain. But
and put it into another body.
Yeah, you're RoboCop.
Fuck, I haven't.
But cooler.
Well, if it was that way around, I could maybe be interested. I've been watching a lot of Black Mirror, and that shit fucking makes you like, just like, what the fuck? But if it was that way around, I don't know if I'd want to live forever, to be completely honest. I want to see what's fucking out there on the next journey and whatever happens. So I wouldn't mind sticking around a bit longer, but not fucking indefinitely. So I think I'll get to a point where I'd be like, fuck it, I'm out. Like, I've done enough of this, whatever.
Pull your own plug.
Yeah. So
just never go back on the charger.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd do something like that. But I'd probably explore the option. I don't know. I'd have to give it more thought if it came to that. But yeah, the taking...
With the chances we have of an afterlife now, which is probably not, I'd take my options and just see what's out. Like, if it doesn't work out, you're still dying, so why not have some fun with it?
Exactly. Yeah. No, it could definitely be interesting. I'd definitely be open to it. Yeah.
How's sports with you guys over there? Are you guys getting back into that now, or are they playing anything without the crowds?
No, I know internationally they're doing that. They're having games but no fucking crowds.
Yeah.
Doesn't that defeat the kind of vibe of a game? I don't know. I think it's...
People want to gamble, so they're definitely going to have games. And also people, they don't give a fuck. The amount of people who do watch the game live versus at home, it's like, why wouldn't you do it without a crowd? Because there's still millions more.
Yeah.
Who cares about
the ratio?
Watching soccer, what? I don't get to hear the vuvuzela in the back? I'll get my fucking own. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that'll be a bonus in Africa if they get rid of the vuvuzela. But I don't know if they're doing games. I actually haven't looked at that, but I don't think so. Because, at the moment, they're still trying to micromanage every aspect of our lives. So I doubt they have games open yet. We're still being treated like children. Yeah, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we got baseball, America's second pastime, coming up. Okay. But football and basketball will be all back together, too. So that'll be nice.
Okay, so at least you guys are getting there up and running slowly.
Yeah, hopefully. We got UFC fights, so that's always nice.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let these two guys just spit all over each other while they fight.
Yeah, fighting scene's big in America.
Oh, it's great, man. It's one of the best sports we have, I think. Because it's the ultimate, there is some rules in place, but it's one-on-one, winner takes all, and who doesn't love that? There's no real other form of that.
Yeah.
Second place, hockey, because you can fight.
Yeah. It seems to have, the UFC and that seems to have taken over even like boxing and all those other things. It's like UFC seems to really just blown out of, seems to be quite the main attraction these days.
I think they did it right where UFC is just, there's a couple different fighting things, but I think boxing is a bunch of different, leagues or associations that have their own fighters. And so these fighters fight those fighters, and to get two different leagues together or associations is kind of a lot tougher. Where it's UFC, they have this big pool of people, and it's like, all right, you're going to fight him, you're going to fight him. And I think you can say no once or something like that. They have rules in it. You got to fight so many fights. So, and then there's, they have people who are dedicated to making all the fights really good. So they're trying to make the best matchups possible. Of course, some aren't amazing, but for the most part, they're all really good fights. I try and catch as much as I can. I used to see it all the time but then I worked in bars that didn't have it, and I always worked Saturday night. So it's just like UFC went out the window. I just listen to people talk about it all the time. So it's much nicer.
Okay. Interesting. And how is it working in bars? You must deal with a lot of drunk people on Saturday nights, eh?
Yeah, but you also...
But I suppose if you're behind the bar, not really...
Yes and no. Like, you learn when to cut people off before they get out of hand. You usually have security. If you're working at one of those bars, you usually have security where it's just like, hey, listen up, toss this guy out of here. And it's like, all right, cool. I've had to break up a couple fights myself. That shit sucks. So it's always nice having a security. And then it's day drinkers who usually cause the most trouble because they get the drunkest. Night fights, I feel...
Day drinking's fun, man, but it gets ugly quick.
It does, because you just go and you're in the sun usually. It gets bad. I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah, for sure. It is fun, I won't lie, man. I got to come over to the States, and the next time I always tell myself, the next time I come to the States, I'm coming to fucking California. I have to, man.
Good, then we'll go to Vegas. Sounds fun to me.
I think we'll have a little party there. I think it'll be quite cool. I got to bring Keegan with. We got to make a little holiday of it. So it'll be sick, man. Because there's some awesome skydiving spots in California. So
you have fun.
You're gonna come join me. You have to, man. It'll be a great podcast episode. We could chat about the skydiving experience.
Don't say that, because that's the only reason I do. All right, for a podcast. Yes.
If I come over to the States, you have to come skydiving with me. That's the deal.
You mean do it so 3 people can listen? Okay.
Yes.
I'm in. Damn it, you tricked me.
No, we're gonna make a plan, man. This has been really, really cool.
Yeah, no. I have really actually enjoyed this. I thought it was going to be a lot tougher being across the
No, the
Earth.
internet is, yeah, it seems to be pretty good tonight. Sometimes my internet fucks around a bit, but I'm actually pretty impressed with the connection. It's been really cool.
I heard you guys were supposed to be getting a better connection in South Africa for internet. Like they were digging, maybe like last year, they were digging or laying new lines, transatlantic line or oceanic lines for
Yeah.
faster service, because you guys have it pretty fucking rough out there.
Yeah, we it's always a couple of years behind you guys. I suppose nowadays we're probably about a year behind the rest of the world. So we get in there, we've got fiber, so that's pretty good, but we don't have, I know we've had issues with our internet recently, and every time it's like, apparently there's some line in the ocean that's like broken, so they gotta go fix the line.
Oh, is that, dude, who the does that shit? Like,
Who's fixing the lines in the fucking ocean? I don't know. I never want to think about that.
that shit scares me right there. Yeah, no, thank you.
So I don't know who's doing that shit, but they fucked up the lines a few times. But I think they tried. They get in there. But we get in there. I know they're rolling out the 5G all over the place. So that's a whole other topic on itself. People are losing their minds.
That COVID 5G.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens if people start dropping in. They just turning on the 5G around. Yeah. So like I don't know. It seems to be a whole other topic on itself.
I get good service. I don't know what's going on. I just pay my cell phone bill and roll.
Yeah. For sure, man. But we definitely need to do more of these conversations.
Yeah. Whenever you're able to do it, I'll definitely throw some time out for this. It's definitely good.
It's always cool to get an American perspective on things, like from two different sides of the world. So I think the next time shit goes down, which seems like it won't be long, we then get on.
Definitely not.
We shoot the shit.
Maybe I'll actually look at the news too, so I sound like a smart person. I'll just
just for the week.
Whatever.
There's enough in a week's news to be like, yeah, I sound like a small person. I can.
yeah, I'll spew out some facts. Self-educated.
Yeah, no, it's been cool, man. Your podcast is called That's Not What I Ordered, correct?
Yes.
And
anchor.fm/TNWIO. That's not what I ordered.
Okay,
and
cool.
then Spotify. That's not what I ordered. You can find us there too.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna put that
Spotify,
in. I'll put that in there.
Too.
And your Instagram, you got Just for Laughs. What's it? Just
for Laughs is mine for my stand-up, and then it's like that's not what I ordered.
I'll find it. I'll put it in, and then the next time I definitely want to chat. You do the podcast with like two other guys, eh?
Yeah, it's me, Ryan, and Andrew. We do a podcast about the restaurant industry.
Oh, that must be interesting, man. I've listened to
roughly the restaurant industry. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. I know I like your clips. I got to start doing that myself. I'm
trying to keep busy. I literally can't sit and do fucking nothing. So I'm like, well, I've got a camera, I've got internet, so let me just keep myself busy and see what happens.
Yeah, it's silly not to. Like,
yeah,
it's a fun release. You get to have that connection with someone and kill 2 hours. Like we did an hour and a half. Shit.
Yeah, I know. That's also why I started, because I felt like I was going crazy, and then I found out if I can rant at the camera, it's like self-therapy. I feel better afterwards. I'm like, fuck. Get it off my chest.
Well, isn't that wonderful? I love that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
Especially in Africa, looking at how they're running our country straight into the ground, and it's like, these fucking morons, god damn it. And then like you can rant about it, and then
Do you worry about a sort of censorship happening there as far as like China, like how much they love China? Your
it did start.
I don't know what you call him, president.
Yeah, it did start to worry me when they brought out this whole law against spreading fake news. So if you caught spreading fake news and whatever they deem as fake, which the lines get blurred, So
quick.
If you say something about it goes against their narrative, you can get jail, or you can get I think it's a 5,000 rand fine or jail time. So people are scared to share any information, and then it becomes like, what happens if that's the truth and now you're not sharing because they're feeding us the shit and only that's acceptable, everything else is. So it is a censorship issue. It's not to the point that I'm that worried just yet, because I'm still going to speak my mind. But I mean, we had journalists who were basically taken off air because they spoke out against the government. So it just goes to show you that as soon as you speak out, you're being shut down, and it is kind of worrying, I won't lie. I'm just worried in general, the censorship issue throughout the world. I mean, if you look at YouTube and Facebook and what they're doing and all the people that are being censored for speaking up and saying shit, and it's like, fuck. Let people decide
You shouldn't
themselves.
have. You can't have that.
Yeah, you can't have censorship. The lines get blurred very quickly, and it's like,
Yeah, and who's to? It's never anybody we vote in to censor it either. It would never be that. It's just like
That's
it's a
the
private
thing.
party. Like, get out of here. If you have that big of a platform, you're responsible to let anybody speak their mind. Like,
Exactly.
let it get monetized. All that.
And it doesn't take very long to look at, okay, well, who's doing the fact checking and who's funding them and who are they? And then it's like, hang on, this doesn't look right. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's like, now they getting to decide what's truth and what's not. It's like, let me decide for myself. And like, that's the biggest thing. Like, there's so many things in this lockdown, like people are like conspiracies, but I'm actually starting to lean towards looking at more truth because it's been shut down so hard. And it wasn't what they were saying. It was the fact that it was shut down. It's like, hang on, why are you shutting that down? And then I look at it and I'm like, that makes more fucking sense than what these people are telling me. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's crazy times.
Why was the shutdown there? Everybody forgot why the shutdown was initially there. It was to curve the people coming in onto the hospitals.
Yes.
That's no longer necessary. There's enough hospitals. Everything's good. Figure it out. Open the fuck up. Like, we're just destroying ourselves, and it's probably partly something China wanted.
Exactly, and that's exactly what's happened. Yeah, same thing. It was all about, it's not the spread is inevitable. Blah blah blah. We just got to flatten the curve, prepare the hospitals. So you've had your fucking time now. Now get us out of this lockdown. Stop. Now you're trying to save lives. Now they want to go back into lockdown. So our government is changing their tune, but everybody forgets what the original plan was. It was to stop, to get the hospitals ready. You know, so unfortunately we've got to move on with life. Shit happens and. Fuck, you know, it's like
it's frustrating, but
it is frustrating.
Go.
This lockdown.
It's either we all die or a few die. Because if you keep going, like people want to re-lock down again in like 6 weeks, hard lockdown. Yeah. Nobody does anything. And like
they're talking about a hard lockdown.
Thinking?
Yeah, they're talking about another hard lockdown in South Africa because our cases are spiking. It is winter. It is obviously going to be but empower the people with the knowledge to look after themselves and trust them to make the decisions for themselves. Like, stop treating us like kids and you fucking want to micromanage our lives. It's frustrating, man, to say the least.
Well, the thing too is how many people are getting there's a spike in cases. They only say spike in cases. Never once said they said spike in deaths.
Yes.
So it's been about a week of them saying that. So what, next week when there's a spike in cases again and there's no more spike in deaths, like let's move on. More people are beating it.
We got to approach it. We got to approach it like Sweden. I know they didn't have a hard lockdown, and they, don't seem to be.
You don't hear shit. You heard shit about them when it was Sweden's not locking down, yada yada.
Yeah.
But now that they're doing okay, it's shut the fuck up, Sweden.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear what you have to say.
Nobody. Yeah, exactly.
Go fucking die.
Yeah. So, it's it does become like a civil liberties issue eventually. It's like, where do you draw the line? Let people make up their own decisions. You can't. The intentions sound good, but if you dig a bit deeper, it's like you're actually going to be causing more harm with the economic distress on people than any good that you're trying to achieve by your lockdowns.
Oh yeah, and I don't know. It's the weirdest of subjects because you can't take away people's ability to do stuff.
Yeah.
For what you think is. Here's another thing. Like 2 weeks before this all started, Jeffrey Epstein, fucking, you obviously heard about that. Yeah, like nobody trusts the media. The media's lying, and then they say one little thing about a fucking disease, and it's like, forget everything. We believe them 100%. It's fine. The media's full of shit, and the governors aren't people. They're just dummies. They don't know what the fuck's going on. They're just trying to take what little knowledge they have and close a whole country down. You can't do that.
Yeah, it's literally insane. It's and the problem we're having here in Africa is it's like our police force give them some bit of power and it's like, all right, time to abuse that power now. And it's like, I mean, like super example, me and my girlfriend, we were walking down the road when the lockdown had started, and we were holding hands, and like we got stopped by police, and they were like, that we got, it was almost like an aggressive, like, what are you doing, social distancing, you're not allowed to hold hands, but we fucking live together, but we can't walk down the road, we have to walk to the shops, but you get away from each other. It was like, are you actually thinking about what you're saying? But this kind
Yeah.
of this they loving the kind of police brutality that went on. Yeah, people getting thrown into police vans because they were walking down the road, breaking the curfew, like fucking crazy shit. And it's just at some point it's like.
Now here's the thing: if you want people to be socially distanced, you shouldn't have a curfew, because now you can have, like, everything should just be open all the time, because now you can go at any time of day, so it's not crowded if you're scared of people. But now you're putting everybody in this 7-8 hour window, especially when it first started. Everything was closing so early. It's like everybody's squeezed in these little places. It's like, what the fuck you're not using any logical thing. They just heard they could take power from the people. And even our governor said, or it was either shit, okay, I didn't stop. Wait, did I? Hold on. Sorry. I just touched something on my keyboard accidentally. And I want to make sure. Our governor said that if you start following orders, then maybe we can start getting our freedoms back. And it's like, whoa, I don't think so. You don't take away our freedoms. It doesn't work like that.
No, and like you said, that point on listen to how crazy this shit is. So in South Africa, this is what they did. People were losing their minds because nobody could fucking exercise. There was like a hard lockdown for like 5 weeks. Then they decide, oh, you can exercise for 3 hours a day between 6 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock. Now the sun only rises at like fucking 7:30. So now you got everybody out in that window, like exercising on the roads, running. So you're squeezing everybody together in one window and then get back in your fucking house and stay there. That's the kind of crazy shit we're about to deal with, man.
Yeah,
it's
that
like,
makes I don't get how that's logical. And how did we, if that's logic to you guys, how did we get you as our politicians?
Yeah, I know. That's the scary thing, yeah. And our politicians that are in power now are so hell-bent on just staying in power and pushing this lockdown as long as possible. And it's absolutely asinine rules that they're coming out with. They literally, at one point you could buy certain clothes in certain shop, but you couldn't buy certain clothes if it wasn't a winter clothes. They were literally dictating what you could buy in the shops. It was like, am I living in fucking a communist country? Yeah, it
feels like a weird book you're in that you had to read in high school. You're like, what's going on here?
There were so many days where I'd wake up and I'd after the day I'd be like, I'd feel like I'm high. I'd be like, what kind of clown world are we living in at the moment? Like, it's just crazy.
It scares me, but luckily there's enough people that can have a platform now.
Yeah, man, it's crazy times. And like for you guys in the States, you know what's for me is so ironic. It's like everybody that was protesting about the lockdown, they were like, oh, you're gonna kill your grandmother, you're gonna kill your family. It's like, get back in your house. But then the BLM protesters started, and that was like, no, that's fine, go protest. So it's like,
that's the thing where I don't think you should have been stopped either way. Go protest, fine. If you don't want to be in your house, fine. You can't tell people to go inside for something like. Yeah. It didn't make any sense, and they just used it as a guise of, you're gonna kill your grandma, everybody's gonna get safe. How about don't go see grandma? It's everybody who's younger is fine. And all these facts are coming out, but they're barely telling it, like, oh, when you're a kid, you don't get it. You don't transmit it. If you're under this age, like, I think it was everybody who was, the average age was like in the 80s or 70s of who's catching it when it first started. And now it's 35, but the death rate hasn't spiked. So that just kind of tells you, well, if you're younger, you're fine. More people are getting it, less people are dying compared, that ratio, it's not there anymore.
Yeah. And as this whole pandemic or whatever moves forward, the facts change, the projections change, everything keeps changing. So stop trying to like make a certain set of rules based on a certain set of facts. When those facts fucking change, it's like, give people the knowledge, let them do their thing, and just update them with what the fuck's going on. You can't keep trying to like pivot on the new information that comes in, and it's just like, it's almost getting ludicrous. It's just like, stop with your kind of, nobody knows what's going on, because in 10 weeks time there's going to be new facts that's come out, new mortality rates, new this. It's just fucking, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even the CDC wasn't 100% honest about it, and who do you trust, man? That's really like, you can't trust anybody who's looking out for you, because why the fuck are you looking out for me? I don't want bad things on people, but I don't want to fucking look out for everybody, that many people. Like, that's not human nature to do that.
It's so
Like, you're out for
inauthentic.
your own
Yeah.
good.
It's, the whole we're looking after, we're trying to save lives. Fucking bullshit. You just like,
You're not.
what are your real interests? Let's see what your real interests are. And it's like, that's why the mainstream's fucked. It's really fucked. I can't deal with it, man.
I'm okay with that though. It needs to be.
Yeah.
It has to, like.
But people are waking up to it. Eh? It's good to see. People are like,
Yeah.
to some degree, people are realizing that.
It's a generational thing too.
Yeah.
The younger kids are just like, wait, what? Nah, I don't believe that. If you're above 50, it gets a little dicey. I think people are kind of too stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I bet CNN's average and Fox
Yeah.
News' average age listener is 65.
Yeah.
'Cause
Interesting.
everybody else is on their phones getting their shit.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. I put
Yeah.
money on it though.
No, the mainstream is going to die. The way that traditionally the news is people are venturing out into other avenues of how they get the information. So it's going to be interesting to see going forward.
NPR has a podcast all the time on news and stuff like that.
Mm.
And then there's the left and right and centrists. Podcasts are going to be, I think, like really taking over. TV will be there for just shows. And even that, like with VR and stuff, I think television's going to go. Like, television will be one of those things that, like, oh, for 100 years, television ruled everything, and then, nobody has a TV anymore.
And everything's on demand, streaming now. Nobody's going to wait till tomorrow to see your show on TV. They're going to just click on, like, I watch Apple TV and go on Netflix and YouTube and that. I just click whatever I want to see at that time. If I want to watch TV, I don't watch general TV anymore because I just don't. It's like, almost, to some degree, it's outdated.
I got rid of everything. I bought Hulu and I put the package on where you get all the channels. So, you know, you just, when you're ready, because I'm never ready to watch a show right when it comes out. I'm never like that eager for anything.
No.
So I waited Breaking Bad for 4 seasons or like till the final season. Then I was like, it's time.
Yes.
I'm ready. I was going to do the same with Game of Thrones. I watched the first 5 minutes. Maybe like, I really just watched the first scene. I don't know. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
I did. I haven't watched the last season yet, but I just found, I absolutely got completely stuck into it. But the lag between like a year until the next season, like, that's why I haven't seen the last one.
That's why I didn't want to do it, because I don't care about so much talking with people about it. I want to see the continuity of the show, like, all in one, so I don't have to think about what was happening back then. And so I watched the first 5 minutes after like the 3rd or 5th season, something like that, where they cut the head off the guy in the very, very beginning. And I was like, ooh, that's cool. I'm going to bed. I'll watch this again. And then I just never got into it. And then everybody was shitting on the 8th season. I was like, well, I'm not going to ever get into that fucking show. Because that's everything. Like, the final season, everybody just shits on. I'm like, I have no interest in the first 7 then. Like,
oh, really?
I
so you
know
didn't
it's going to... No, because I know the ending's going to be subpar. So that's all I'm really looking forward to is the ending.
Yeah, because the series becomes like, you become emotionally attached to that shit. It's I like Breaking Bad. I loved that show, but I waited until it was finished and then I watched the whole thing, and it was mind-blowingly good. But if I knew that because it had a terrible ending, I don't know if I would have been as keen to start it. So it's because by the time the series ends, I'm like a bit of me is quite sad. I'm like, fuck, I was enjoying.
And that's why it's so good, because the whole time you know that he has an uncurable disease, so there's no happy ending for him. Yes. The happiest ending he could have is he makes a ton of money, so his family's set up and he doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But they're going to be without him. So, I mean, there's no good outcome. And he makes enough money and figures out a cure for pancreatic cancer. You kind of know he's fucked. Yeah, so you go into it with your heart already kind of hard, or like heavy, because you're sad. You're so sad for this guy. He's just such a nice person. It's Bryan Cranston. He knows how to act so well. You forget it's him, and you just think it's this Walter guy that's just having a tough life, man. He should have been a millionaire. He's not. Like, it breaks your heart, and then you want him to do bad.
You kind of sympathize with him, and you're like, fuck, he's not such a villain. Like this guy.
They killed their first guy or something like that, and they're trying to get rid of the body, and like, you're so emotionally invested with those guys, you feel like you're gonna get busted. I don't want to go to jail for this, boys. Yes. Let's figure it out. Like, you're so into it. The show was so good.
Yeah,
and that's brilliant. They were very good at that.
Yeah, you put it well there. You feel like you're part of that story. It captures you so well.
Yeah, you're a part of the crew. They just don't talk to you.
That's cool. But that's why I almost hesitate to get stuck into series nowadays because, like, if I start a good series, that's me fucked. That I'm gonna binge watch that until it's finished. I'll find any excuse to go and jump and sit and watch that, and then like it's the same thing with you in gaming. Like, I feel like I could be being so much more productive, and I'll spend like 3 days till I finish a series, and I'm like, fuck, there goes. And I enjoyed it, but I know I'm a sucker. If I get a good series and I start one, that's me on the couch until it's finished.
Oh yeah, it's frustrating, man,
Yeah.
and they know it too. They make it accessible.
Yeah.
They make sure that look at this new series, an algorithm to get stuff you might like. It's all just a ploy to keep your ass on the couch.
100%. Tell me, have you seen Midnight Gospel on Netflix?
I have watched the first fucking episode of that delicious show, and I love it. The one with Dr. Drew. Oh my god, it's great. Like,
what's his Duncan Trussell?
Yes, it's beautiful because it's such a poignant and great conversation paired with a zombie attack that's hilarious. So what don't you like? You're having a great conversation like you love podcasts for, but also a funny animation to it. So there's no lose on that. I got to get into that one.
Yes, get into it. I promise you. Like it's you'll sit there and you'll be like, it's two different things going on. A conversation which is mind-blowingly informative and just like mind-shattering, like these insights, and then the animation that's going on. And you're like, the story. It's kind of. It's brilliant how they've come up with it. I don't know how these creators come up with some of these cartoons. Like,
tons of psychedelics.
Tons of psychedelics, that's for sure.
There's one called Super Jail. There's this little 15-minute show called Super Jail, and it has like a couple seasons. Okay. And you feel like you were doing mushrooms, but it's super violent. So you're like, oh man, the people who created this have a sick fucking brain.
Really?
Yeah, it's great. It's entertaining because it's like stupid funny, but it's still funny.
Yeah, that's the thing with some of these cartoons. There's a point with most of them where you're like, this didn't come from a sober person's brain. Like, people have been down some dark roads, and then it's like come up with this warped stuff, and you're like, holy shit, this is creative and brilliant and twisted at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how do I protect myself against thinking like this? Because that might break my brain. Now, with Duncan Trussell, I wonder, because I kind of just thought about this, he's very big on the brain and all that. Having a show that is super informative like he's doing, because, I mean, I'm just assuming that's the first episode kind of echoes the rest of them. I haven't watched them yet.
Yeah.
Where he's having very smart conversations with a silly thing where your brain does have two halves, one creative, one analytical. Like, what if he's trying to use both of those at the same time? If you were to just throw if you're watching a video and then they throw it's two people talking, you're not using that second half of your brain. You're just using your analytical probably. So if you're using that creative side too with watching that, making you kind of laugh and all that, maybe that helps you like retain it or like think about it better in a different way.
I don't really know too much about Duncan Trussell. There's a podcast, I think he was on Aubrey Marcus, I saw it posted recently. I actually want to go check that out. But that sounds interesting what you're saying, because it's
really just listen to him on Joe Rogan and you'll get to know who Duncan Trussell is. They do. Really? They have like 2 or 3. They have probably a few 2-3 hour plus podcasts where they just really go into what they're about, and that'll be then you kind of really understand. He
seems like quite a psychonaut. Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. Okay. Best way to describe it.
I need to go check him out. But check out some more of that Midnight Gospel, especially late at night and you're chilling. Check it out.
Okay, for sure.
It'll
I
blow
will.
your mind. This has been sick, man. How long has it been? I can't see because my other camera's off.
Hour 45.
Sick, man. This has been really, really cool.
I enjoyed this. Let's definitely do this again, man.
Definitely. As soon as, I think we should. It'll be cool to have a two-way thing from, like, you can get African perspective, I get American, and we can just chat about stuff.
I love it.
Very cool.
Sounds great. We can even make this a separate podcast.
I think so. Easy.
There we go. Then we just get people from all over the world start talking to them.
Just big
there
shit.
we go. Figure out.
I think it'll be very cool.
Well, yeah, I know. Actually, we know someone we played with someone in Belgium.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we'll talk to him.
Yeah.
We'll get something going, man.
Well, I'll be chatting to you because I'm going to need your advice as you go and I go and figuring out GarageBand and audio shit. So, Yeah,
Please do.
I'll be in
Please
touch,
do.
brother.
Thank you,
I
man.
appreciate your time, man. This has been sick.